Karen? Thank you.
Okay, so in the PhD study at the University, we have about 2,400 doctorate students in the various fields of research. Among them, about 280 international PhD students. And the ARS, I would like to introduce who are we. I'm going to say in a word that we are the authority for research students, which consists of two main areas of research. We take care of the PhD student in the PhD track in two main areas of research: experimental sciences and humanities and social sciences. The experimental sciences consist of the fields which you see in the screen: the sciences in mathematics, medicine, dental medicine, agriculture, food and environment, brain sciences, computer science, and engineering. And the humanities and social sciences, we have humanities, social sciences, law and criminology, business administration, social work, and education. We have prerequisites for applying for the PhD studies, and regarding the master's degree with thesis, the minimum grade is 85, and in humanities it's 90. The master's finals exam, the minimum grade is 85 if applicable, and we start there the process of acceptance. And while PhD students apply, we are having the grades, the record of studies sent for evaluation, and we start the process. An academic unit, one before that, please. One slide before, thank you. An academic unit may set a threshold higher than the minimum specified above and may require additional screening methods such as a personal interview or an examination. Applications may also be submitted during the final year of master's degree program. In this case, the acceptance will be conditional. It can happen. Updated details will be published soon. In a few weeks, we will have the updated details. Okay. Next slide. Thank you, Anna. The prerequisites for applying for PhD also consider knowledge of English, and according to the results of the recognized exam or document attesting to previous studies in English language, we can you can see that the grades defined as exemptions are in the TOEFL 95, the IELTS 7, Amir and Amiram are exams here. It's 134, and in European standards, it will be C1. And the minimal grades for entering the PhD, for applying for the PhD, are, as you see, the TOEFL 80, IELTS 6, Amiram 120, in European standards B2. In order to start the application process, you have to have the minimum grade, and then you can start also applying. And the third thing is finding a potential advisor, which is something that is very important, that before or while preparing the application form, you need to find a potential advisor. You need to find a potential advisor who can be suitable for your research intention, and then you can start the process. Okay. Can you hear me, or you can hear me? Because I see that there are problems for some of in the chat. Yeah. Okay. So I would like to again the last slide and now before this one. I would like to add a comment regarding the advisor. Such an advisor you can contact directly to the site and try to read the CV of the advisor and accordingly to find an advisor which is suitable for your research proposal. You have also consultants in the different departments who can help you finding an advisor. And the third thing is to speak with the info center or to write to the info center who can guide you through the process because you cannot enter the PhD program without finding a suitable advisor for your research intentions. Okay. So the duration of the PhD studies are 5 years from the admission to the thesis submission. From the day you were accepted after the acceptance, after receiving the acceptance letter, you have 5 years to complete the PhD. Through your studies, you have to take minimum of 12 credit points. It's determined individually according to the student's topic of research. And part of the course program, there are 3 or 4 credit points, departmental mandatory courses, which are PhD seminar, academic writing, and departmental seminars, which you take in the department itself, and the courses are part of the requirement under the supplementary studies of the PhD studies. And after, if you will have questions, of course, we'll be happy to answer, okay? Next slide, Ada, thank you. Okay, yeah.
So that's a slide that you already saw with Naama's presentation. It's the Rothberg International School, which they help you with all the non-academic questions you have before you come, during your stay, and there'll be your address for every question regarding the sports sectors, pre-arrival services, cultural activities. So they're the people. If you see the guy with the beard, he's your contact person in the future.
Okay,
that's the last slide. Yeah.
So you have the Info Center for International Candidates, and they can guide you through the process. And also we have our site of the Authority for Research Students, which is filled with all the information that you need. And we have also contact person that you can reach in our unit, which can answer, who can answer all the questions that you need and help you through the process.
But before we start with the questions, can we go to Mayuri?
Hi, everyone. Yes, so we begin. Okay. I will try. Okay. Does everyone, okay, I'm going to share my screen quickly. Does everyone see my screen? No? Okay.
I think you're not a co-host, so then you can't do it.
Yes, Ada?
Yes,
you know
just one moment. Here, now you should be able to share your screen. Let me just stop my my share.
Okay. Share screen.
Can you try again, please?
No, Mayuri is a guest. She can't.
From what I see here, she can.
Okay.
Yes, it says participants can.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you so much. Dear Lord, 2 years into this pandemic, and we're still struggling with Zoom and screen sharing. Okay, thank you, Liat, for giving me this opportunity to speak to potential students.
Mayuri, perhaps just put it on presentation mode.
Okay, slideshow. Does that work better? Yes. Okay.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. A little about me. Quickly, I'm a PhD student here in the International Relations Department. I am from India. I am in my 4th year, but who's counting. I previously did an MA in security studies from Tel Aviv University. I have previously an MA in journalism from the US, and in between I was a journalist in India, tracking foreign policy and defense. This was how I started gaining an interest in Israel studies, which is eventually what brought me to study security and international relations and defense and foreign policy in Israel. Why Israel? This was a question that I keep getting asked all the time. And my response to that is almost always, why not Israel? Like when we go and study, when we studied in the US or UK or Australia, people don't ask you, why are you studying in the US? But when you come to Israel, people ask you, why did you come to Israel? And I really feel that there's, Israel offers so much that it really is a top destination for foreign students to be. My own PhD project is very specifically Israel-based, so it made sense to do it in Israel with Israeli professors doing the Israeli case study, instead of doing it at a foreign university in the US or Canada, which would have been the other options for me. Also, personally, I found that Israeli academia encourages freer thinking, and at least my personal experience was that it gave me a lot more freedom to design my own projects, to decide what kind of courses I wanted to take. Maybe this is a more personalized experience, but really this was a big reason why I chose to do my PhD here, and why I am very happy with that decision. And I think as a scholar, as senior, as scholars, as PhD students, for me this was very important. Of course, Hebrew University is one of the top-ranking universities in the world. You get world-class education. This is, from an academic point of view, these were one of the bigger reasons why I chose to do my PhD here. And sort of from a non-academic perspective, well, again, the reasons why I chose Israel was that it's a very open-minded, warm society. Sure, occasionally you might find that people are a little brash and abrasive, and sometimes, especially if you came from Europe, it might seem a little odd, but overall people are very friendly, they're very open, you get what you see. Israel is very safe. This is again a question that I've often been asked, because you see a certain portrayal of Israel in the media, and that is not necessarily always the case in reality. Petty crime in Israel is very low. As a woman, I have had no problems ever walking down the streets, even late at night, by myself. Very safe cities, excellent weather. 300 days of the year, you have amazing weather, which honestly, these things may not seem important right now when you're making that application, but when you have to live in a city or live in a country for 4 or 5 years, these are very important things, in my opinion. And finally, I think as a university, Hebrew University really cares for its students. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying that we don't have complaints with the bureaucracy and all of that. But particularly during Corona, for example, there was such a big challenge for all of us within the university system. And HUGE, for example, ensured that we, as international students, initially we didn't have access to the vaccine, but the international office made sure that as a student community, all international students, all of us got our vaccines, which was so important. When we were stranded, for example, I was stranded in India for 3 months. The university made, they literally are organized for a special flight to bring all the students from India to Israel. For those of you who don't know, there is a large Indian student community here in Israel. And, these little things, it really shows that when push comes to shove, when you're in trouble, when it really comes to that final point, the university is there for you, even as much as there may be other issues with bureaucracy and all of that. When push comes to shove, the university has your back. And that is so important that, as an international student, you've come so far away from home, you're away from your family, and then to know that your university acknowledges the work that you do, it respects the work that you do, and values the work that you do and your contribution to the academic life and to scholarly life here in Israel, that really makes a huge difference. There are certain challenges, of course, to studying in Israel, one being language, and which is why this slide goes from right to left. So Hebrew, for example, for those of you who do not speak Hebrew, language is undoubtedly an issue, particularly in the social sciences. In the life sciences and physical sciences, I'm told it's less of an issue, but social sciences definitely, finding courses that require. So this is something is something that you have to be realistic about and make sure that to see what courses your program specifically is offering in Hebrew and how much is in English. This is definitely there from an academic point of view. You can, of course, do Ulpan. You can study Hebrew. You can learn Hebrew. It's not that hard to gain a basic level of fluency. The university Ulpan is excellent. I highly recommend it. And if you have the time, it's hard to balance both PhD and Ulpan, but if you can do it, it really improves your overall quality of experience, both inside the university and also outside the university. Because again, remember, 4 or 5 years is a long time. You will be dealing with all sorts of bureaucracies, all sorts of administrative issues within the country, even something like grocery shopping. When you go, your food things it's all labeled in Hebrew, not always in English. This is something that is maybe different for those of us who come from these are little things that sort of add up, and it's something to be aware of. The other issue is funding. There's not a lot of funding in the social sciences department. I will be honest about that, but it is possible to. So again, but Israel is a very, very expensive country. It's the university itself. Tuition fees may not be as expensive as the universities in the US or Canada, but cost of living in the US, in Israel, is very, very high. So when you come to Israel, make sure that you know how you're going to fund your studies. This is very, very important. It's really something that will, if you do not have adequate funding, it will make it very difficult for you to really get the most out of your academic experience. But again, there are ways to get around it. For example, if living in the city is expensive, you can always live in the dorms. It's perfectly fine. They're very nice. I personally live in the dorms. I love it here. I love being also with other students, which really improves my social life. Finally, keep in mind again, Israel does not allow students to work. This is again not different from other countries which do allow international students to work, and there is no pathway to the Israeli job market. This is slowly changing, but not yet in the social sciences. So these are sort of things to keep in mind depending on what your long-term plans are. But overall, finally, if someone asked me if I would redo my decision to study in Israel, absolutely yes. There is in balance. This is definitely something that worked out for me and for everybody else. And because if nothing else works out, you never know, you might find love and companionship in this country. I found my husband here. This is a picture from our wedding, which also, by the way, happened at the Hebrew University in the Meyersdorf guest house. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Mayuri. Now we will wait for Felix to enter. He's from the agriculture faculty, but we will wait. And if you have questions, you're welcome to ask.
Somebody has a question. Do you want to raise your hand and ask?
I think that in the chat we had a question from Amen, who asked if we can do a PhD in 3 years. You can finish your PhD in 3 years as long as you pass to stage B. Okay. Can you hear me? Because that's okay. As long as you okay, as long as you move to stage B, and then you can continue and submit your dissertation in 3 years. It's like a really good time to submit it. It's less than 5 years, so yes. But after after you move to stage B, you can submit the PhD thesis. Other questions from what is okay, if you need to send additional questions, Liat send in the chat our contact information. Okay, we have Ms. Neta Weiss from the unit of the experimental unit, and Liat I can answer questions regarding the social sciences and humanities, and I'm also available. And do you have questions here?
Leo has a question.
Yes, hello.
Leo, hi Leo.
Hi, I'm French, and as I wrote on the chat, I'm interested in a co-tutel between the University of Jerusalem and my university, which is Aix-Marseille, and it will be in brain sciences. But could you inform me about this option?
So you are asking regarding the co-tutel, a joint program, Leo?
Sorry, I don't hear you well.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes.
You are asking regarding a joint doctoral program, co-tutel. This is you are interested in the co-tutel or in the regular PhD track?
Leo's asking about a joint PhD program
Yes.
between his university and
Yeah.
Hebrew University in brain sciences.
Okay, so we have a joint program, okay, with university.
Okay.
You have to apply, and then you have to start but you have to apply first and send your records of studies, and then ask for a joint program, because we need to prepare an agreement. Okay, it's called the co-tutel, an agreement which can be which is part of the two universities that can sign the agreement. It's better to start early, okay, early with the process, because first you need to have the agreement and then start the PhD track. So at least if you're going to apply for the PhD, I want to also make a remark from in the presentation. We have in the experimental unit, you can apply all year, okay? And it is better to start with the application and 3 months before the opening year, okay? It's better to start earlier. And in the social and humanities and social science, we have 2 days during the year. You can apply 1st of July, each year 1st of July, okay? And for the second semester, in the 1st of January, you can apply in 2 days. For international students, we advise to start the application process before, at least 3 months before, in order to check the records of studies. And in the co-tutel, it is better to start them before, also with the coordinator in between the universities, so we can start the agreement. Okay, Leo?
Okay, thank you. And I need to contact a researcher in a laboratory and then start the procedure with the university. This is
yes, as I said in the presentation, you need to contact an optional advisor. Okay, you have to have one advisor from the Hebrew University and one from your university abroad. And as I mentioned before, you can either ask the department, okay, the advisor, you have advisor in the department, in each department you have an advisor, and he can guide you through how to apply and to who. You will send intentions of research, and then accordingly, he will help you, okay? He will help you, and you can go also through the info center, or you can contact directly the department, okay, which you're going to apply to, and then the advisor of the department can also guide you through, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, more questions? More questions?
It's easier for us to answer you or instead of writing you orally. So if you can, please ask the questions and we'll be happy to answer.
Okay, I would like to say that Felix will not join us, and so we can continue with the questions or other thoughts, or if you have. There was a question regarding a track from other fields, students who have a BA from other fields and want to apply to a different field from their BA and MA. So each department has its own rules, and as I wrote to Sabrina, she can contact me and I will guide her through. But if you come from a different field, you need to send, okay, the advisor of the department your records of studies and to see if which track is the most suitable for you. You can start a track which is a pre-track before the PhD track, okay? And then you will have to write a thesis in the department. It depends on the advisor of the department and what is more suitable according to your records of studies, okay? Mostly the change from field to field requires, okay, to have a program in the department, which they will prepare for the students, and then you will be able to finish the year with their program, with the department's program, and then continue to the PhD. Okay? This was one of the remarks that I saw in the chat.
I saw another question. Fatin asked something about how to find an advisor. And as
Okay,
Karen said it previously in the presentation.
It's okay, I can say it again. First, you have to, you can contact directly the department which you want to apply to. You have the consultant or the advisor of the department who can guide you through. And also in the info center, they can also guide you through. You can send them, okay, the research of the intentions of research, and then they can guide you through, and also you can set a meeting with the potential advisor, also have a meeting and see if it's the right supervisor according to your intentions of research, okay? Other questions?
Karen, if you don't mind, maybe I can just add one sentence here in terms of reaching out to professors. Keep in mind that professors are often very, very busy. They have a lot of work. And sometimes, you know, they may not always respond to a cold email from a potential student they don't know. So if by chance you don't get a response, be Israeli about it and write again and again and again till you don't get a response, till they don't write back to you. Call them, like, you know, like follow up, and like just don't just be like send one email and let it go if it doesn't work out. Follow up, send emails, maybe find another professor, maybe another contact who can put you through. I had initially trouble finding a professor who would, the way it worked out was I found another professor who's put in a good word for me, and you know, so that's how it works. So if it doesn't work the first time, just keep trying.
Okay, thank you, Mayuri.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, other questions?
Everything is clear? No questions? Oh,
Hello.
yeah.
Do you hear me?
We barely hear you.
Elena, yes? Yeah.
My microphone is very bad. I have a question. My master's degree is specialized in clothing materials and technology. What kinds of intersubject science you can I'm sorry. What supervisor is interested in intersubject science? How can I get this information?
Elena, you are interested in the PhD track of can you hear me, Elena? I see that
Very bad.
Textile materials, durability, materials, processing of textile. You want which program you want to apply to? Can you be?
It may be antibacterial technology for material, or it may be mass model of.
Do you have an MA with a thesis, Elena? Do you have an MA?
Sorry, I hear you.
Since we have trouble communicating, can we go through email with Elena and go for other questions? Is that okay, Elena and Karen?
Okay, you can write to us, okay, by email because.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We see a raised hand. Do you want to ask the question?
Other questions or thoughts?
There's a question from Ahmed.
Yes. So what is preferable to, when is it preferable to begin the program? Is it preferable at the beginning of the fall semester? Or, I mean, could it be entered into in, say, spring or summer?
It really depends on you, and first you need to, you're going to be a candidate, so I advise first to prepare your file, your electronic file for submission, okay, for your candidacy. And it's better to start there and start at least 3 months, as I said before, okay, the date of the opening year, because first we need to see your record of studies, to check the record of studies, and if you have, you have to have also a potential advisor, okay? So to which field do you want to apply, I mean?
The Jewish education track, interest in ancient Near Eastern studies, exhibit period, biblical languages, Near Eastern, ancient Near Eastern languages.
Okay, so it's better, you can start to prepare your file and to build it, okay? And to start 3 months earlier so we can evaluate the records of studies and then start, and then you're going to be in contact with a potential advisor. It's in the process. And then before you can also choose whether to start in the first semester and the second semester. You can take courses, okay, yearly courses, and also the semester courses that you have in the curriculum. So it's not a problem. You have to first to apply as a candidate, and then to have a supervisor, and then to start the process. Okay.
Thank you. Kind of difficult to hear, so I'll email.
You are welcome to do it now, even if you want to start the process, you are welcome to do it, okay?
We should leave the.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And you are welcome also, you have the emails in the chat and you are welcome to write to us questions, remarks,
And we can send you the presentation.
okay. Thank you.